Most people go into interviews researching the website, description, etc. Just the cliche things, right? The really missing is how on earth will you actually make an impact on your interviewer? Stay with me, and in this video, I'm gonna talk about the 5 things that you should not miss out. Never step into an interview without doing these 5 things. Guys, not doing them is really gonna cost you your dream job or your dream university. Number 1, research the interviewer. But wait, not like the one how everyone does. No, that's not what we want. What we want is research the interviewer so much so that I know what he likes, what he has done, the biggest projects that he have done. I always like to share my example, right? So when I was interviewing for Goldman, right, and my interviewer, how I found out was I looked at his email because he had the Zoom invite, right? So I knew the email. It was, I went onto LinkedIn and I started researching my interviewer. Okay, working in Goldman Sachs for 10 years, nice. So how people nowadays, they tend to like share the recent projects. So what you're gonna do is research the interviewer, but not just the name or maybe just the years of experience in the company. No, wait, what projects has he worked on? So for example, when I interviewed, I knew this is gonna impress the interviewer. So I was like, oh, I saw that you've recently worked on an audit transformation project. That's fascinating. Now I went one step ahead to all the people who were actually interviewing, because not only did I know the interviewer, not only did I know because of the work experience, also I knew because I googled and then I went to the Goldman Sachs website, audit transformations, audit projects, etc., XYZ. So I digged into, okay, open the financial statements, okay, what being done in audit, for example. So do you understand? Crux is not just to be normal. No, we want to stand out. We want to make sure that the interviewer loves us, that the interviewer is shocked by us, and the interviewer is like, wow, this girl or this guy is actually really interested in this company. What do is, oh, everyone says, oh, read about the company, read what they does. I am telling you, can you please go on the website of the company and look at the values, okay? That's step 1. What are you gonna do next? Because we wanna be ahead of others, right? So we always do more than what others are doing. No, I don't want you to just read the values. For example, when I was going in an interview for Goldman Sachs, right? I knew one of the biggest values is excellence, for example. So what you can do is read the values, then try to match your story with the value of the company. Right? So for example, you have a work experience, you've worked maybe 5 years before the current experience, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to take the 5 values, excellence, teamwork, leadership, and prepare examples. So in the interview, holistically, when you are sharing examples, even subconsciously, the interviewer finds out that, ooh, through one example, the value of excellence. Number 2, leadership. Number 3, collaboration. So when you are preparing examples, which I will be talking more about in my coming videos, what you have to do is you have to make sure that that example clearly shows value that the company, because nowadays, trust me, not just the technical skills. Companies, big companies like Goldman Sachs, for example, what they're looking for people, they're looking for a good fit. They're looking for whether this girl, this guy, does he or she have leadership skills. Just show them that. It's literally that easy. You know, we tend to, in our head, we tend to make interviews are like really hard. No. If you know how to crack them, which I'm here for, you're gonna make sure that you crush it. Third one is a smart question. How I think, when you maybe Google up, you're gonna be like, oh, prepare questions, and would be asking question, oh, what is the culture like, the salary range being offered. Please put a hold onto those questions. No, we want to be extraordinary. And the type of questions that you ask, something that's going to leave impression on the interviewer, right? Ask curious questions that again is going to impress the interviewer. Maybe you can be very personal. You know how people say, oh, don't be personal. No. One thing that I always do in my interviews is be personal. So for example, you can be like, thanks a lot for your time. It was a great conversation. I'm just curious to understand, you have been working at Goldman for 10 plus years. What is it that stood out for you? What is it that made you stick with this company? what has been the most rewarding part of your experience at Goldman? Then, the interviewer is like, okay, really wants to get to know what all have been going. She really is interested, while the others are like, oh, what's the company culture like? What's the team like? Those logistical questions. No. We can figure that out once we get into that company. But pose this question and you're really gonna impress. This is the question that I am literally sharing with you. Use this in like most of my interviews and it really impresses the interviewer. Thank me later. Number 4, dress to impress. Okay, obviously in my YouTube videos, I'm just like very casual in my t-shirts because obviously I want to give like, I want to be like relaxed, be myself, which is truly who I am. So when you go in an interview, one day before, make sure that you know what the type of the interview is. So for example, when I was interviewing for either Cambridge or Goldman, I knew these places, they are elite organizations. They like people who dress up, like people, it's very formal culture. You know what? I took out most posh blazer, black color, of course, because black is, banking, for example, or even formal for Cambridge. What I'm gonna do is inside wear like a shirt, or I tend to just wear even a t-shirt and then a blazer on top. Key is dressing to impress. Make sure the hair is done. Make sure skin is shining, looking nice. Because, why? Why do you think? Because the first thing that the person is gonna see, if for example it's virtual or if it's in person, then we can talk about that later because in person has a lot of communication cues. But if it's virtual, the first thing the interviewer sees is the position of your camera, how you're looking, how the hair is done. If all of you is posh and nice and elite, first impression, that's done. Half of the work is done. Ooh, that person is really put together, is really interested, Last but not the least, the 5th one is follow up. Is one of the ways that you can clearly stand out versus all the other candidates. So you follow up, and the follow-up can be very polite, something you remember from the conversation. You can be like, oh, thanks a lot for your time. It was a great conversation, showing that it was two-way, not someone just interviewing me. No, I'm also interviewing them. I mean, I have a choice. Like, I'm going to make a choice if I want to go into Goldman Sachs or Cambridge, right? So you show that and thank them for their time, and maybe you can be like, the conversation went very interesting, absolutely fascinated by the audit transformation project, and even more keen to be part of it after our conversation. Do you get the impact it makes? Like, it shows that I was listening, it shows that I connected the dots, and it shows my excitement and my interest to get into the company. Do this. Literally, you will thank me again for this because I've done this and I've received a lot of positive feedback saying that really closes the loop and the interviewer is going to remember you. You have to do these 5 before you go into any interview. Make sure that you crush it. And it's all about the mindset. It's not about showing excellence in the interviews. It's about making a connection. People love to take in people who they like to work with. Are you likable? Do they feel connected? If they feel connected to you, likely they're gonna say yes to you. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button, and hopefully we're gonna be sharing more along the journey and how you can ace all the interviews with the mindset of confidence, ready to crush. As I say always, don't worry, together we're gonna figure it out.